This is probably the worst AI content detection tool. It's received accolades in Forbes, BuzzFeed, Business Insider, trusted by 18.5 million users. All of these people are being scammed because this is fucking useless. Many business owners still think that AI generated content is bad, and so they'll post jobs on Upwork telling people they only want human writers and that all content will be run through AI detection tools. Now, if you're one of those business owners using AI detection tools, or if you're a freelancer who's afraid of losing clients to AI detection tools, then you'll want to stick around because I'm about to test some of the most well-known AI detection tools to see if they actually do what they're supposed to do. My hypothesis is that they don't. They're easily fooled by anyone who knows how to prompt AI properly, and they also spit out false positives which land freelancers in hot waters with clients. Now, it's important to stress that I have no idea what the outcome of these tests will be. I haven't actually run these tests ahead of time. I've just pulled up the 13 most popular AI content detection tools, lined them up, and then we're going to run our experiment. So I have no idea what results they'll produce. This is not some kind of TV cooking show where I've cheated and created a finished meal ahead of time. But what I can tell you is that the results actually don't matter all that much unless you're interested in seeing if your particular favorite AI content detection tool lives up to the hype. Because at the end of this video, I'm actually going to explain to you why it doesn't matter whether or not something is AI generated, and why if you're a business owner, you can cool your heels with the AI content detection tools, and if you're a freelance writer working for those businesses, you just shouldn't take them on as clients if they insist on using them. But let's get into the actual experiment here. Now, it's been a while since I've played around with AI detection tools and haven't done it since 2023. Back then I discovered exactly how useless they were, so I just forgot all about them and dismissed any clients who believed in them. I even turned down a job from the payment processor Wise, which is a $13 billion company, and it could have been my biggest client ever had they not had a no AI policy. I just saw that they posted this job on Upwork today and that they still maintain a strict no AI policy because, I don't know, they care about human jobs or some shit like that. So for this test, I'm going to use 3 pieces of content. One is going to be an article that I wrote in 2020, which means it's way before ChatGPT or any of the other AI writing tools. Then I'm going to have ChatGPT write an article on a similar topic, and then thirdly, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write another article on a similar topic, but trained on my tone of voice and writing style from the original article. So we'll have 3 pieces of content we can test these tools with. Okay, so here we have article number 1. As you can see, this is me back in May 12, 2020, and it's basically your run-of-the-mill SEO blog post. Now, what I want to do is go into ChatGPT and go to the settings, and then I want to disable the memory because I don't want it to use any of the prompts I've previously given it in regards to tone and writing style. So now let's take the link here and say read this article and write an article on the same topic. I know it's not a genius prompt, but let's just roll with it. And as you can see, it spits out typical ChatGPT lingo, which is promoting an event effectively requires a strategic blend of psychology, creativity, and practical tactics, as if there are any other tactics than practical ones. But cool, we can take this bullshit article that ChatGPT just spat out and copy it into a Google Doc here. Now we'll open up a new chat. So now we're going to copy and paste my article here, and then we're going to say, can you write an article on the same topic using that writing style and tone of voice? Now we can see, because it's trained on my tone of voice and writing style, it actually churns out something that's half decent. For example, before we throw tips at you like confetti, let's zoom in on the squishy stuff between our ears. It's moderately funny in a dad joke kind of way. But okay, let's paste that into our Google Doc, and now we have our 3 testing sets, right? My article, the article ChatGPT wrote on its own, and the one it wrote based on my writing style and tone of voice. Okay, so we're just going to take all these AI tools in no particular order. The first one is Brandwell. Already here I'm annoyed because I can only copy from URL or upload a file. Okay, so it looked at my article and this is what it arrived at. It passes as human. I'm grateful for that. Now let's see how it fares with the one from ChatGPT. Oh, passes as human, but as you saw, it was generated by ChatGPT. Let's reset this and then try this one, which is ChatGPT trained on my writing style and tone of voice. Also passes as human. Okay, so all 3 pieces of content, only one of which was written by a human, passes as human. That means Brandwell has a useless AI content detection tool. On to the next one. Here we have Originality AI. Now this one I have a gripe with because it's a premium tool tool, I actually have to pay for the credits, and so you should think that it actually does a bit better. But last time I checked it sucked, so let's see if they've improved their algorithms. First up we have the human written article, and here they have a light version and then a turbo version. Now if I was a client and I'd paid for this tool, I would probably prefer the turbo version because it seems like the best one, right? So let's use that to scan the article. Okay, so first of all, that took for fucking ever, but now we have the results. 50% likelihood that this is generated by AI. And as we received these results, there was a little pop-up from a chatbot here saying, think this might be a false positive, get in touch, we might be able to help. My article I wrote in 2020 was AI generated, or at least 50% confidence that it was AI generated. Now let's take the article that ChatGPT wrote and see what it comes up with here. Maybe we should remove the little thing at the top where ChatGPT says that it's made by ChatGPT. All right, so 100% confidence this is likely AI. So well done for detecting that. Now let's see if it can do the one trained on my tone of voice. Yep, it comes out as likely AI, 100% confidence. Okay, so well done for Originality AI to be able to spot that AI wrote 2 of those articles, but it still flagged my human written article from 2020 as 56% likely that it was generated by AI. So if I was a client, I would probably be suspicious. On to the next one. Here we have Surfer SEO. Now I use Surfer a lot in my work as a freelance writer because it's actually an excellent content optimization tool when you're writing SEO content. And they even have their own AI content generation tool, so you would think that they would be good at spotting what's AI and what isn't. Okay, so I put in my original article and it's 0% chance it was written by AI. So well done so far. Now let's see how it does with the purely ChatGPT generated article. So far so good, 100% chance this text was written by AI. But here's the third one, which is written by AI but trained on my tone of voice and writing style first, and it says it's 0% chance your text was written by AI, which it is. So Surfer SEO can stick their AI detection tool where the sun don't shine because it does not work. Now this one I've never heard about before, Undetectable AI. As you can see here, it's rated #1 best AI detection tool by Forbes. It's also received accolades from BuzzFeed and Business Insider. Let's see, I don't want your fucking trial. Let's see if it actually lives up to all the hype. I haven't tried this tool before, but I guess the unique selling point here is that it's actually running through all the other AI detection tools like GPTZero, OpenAI, Writer, Quillbot, CopyLeaks, Sapling, Grammarly, and ZeroGPT. We'll also be testing some of those tools later, but let's see if this one can actually do the work. Okay, so here's the verdict. 1% human, likely 99% AI. This is my original article, right? Good job. Now we're gonna try the one made by ChatGPT. Okay, and here's the verdict for that one. Also 1% human, 99% likelihood of it being AI. So well done, it could spot an AI text. Let's see what it says to the AI generated article trained on my writing style and tone of voice. This is 99% human, likely 1% AI. This is probably the worst AI content detection tool out of the ones we've looked at so far. Look man, it's using all the other AI detection tools. It's received accolades in Forbes, BuzzFeed, Business Insider, more logos here you're supposed to recognize, trusted by 18.5 million users, and they got 130,000 new users this week. All of these people are being scammed because this is fucking useless. Next up we have Isgen AI. Not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that, but let's have a look. Okay, so this one has a limit. You're not supposed to type in more than 5,000 characters, which is stingy. Okay, so 5,000 characters. This is the most accurate AI content detector. We shall see. So my article from 2020 comes out as human. Well done in the first test. Detect again. This is for the ChatGPT generated article, and it comes out as 72% probability AI generated. Okay, fair enough. Now for the final test, which is AI generated but trained on my tone of voice and writing style. 0 probability that it's AI generated. 100% human, which means that Isgen AI is also useless. Now we have GPTZero, and I'm going to go through these even though this undetectable magic AI content detection tool claimed to be using these other ones, but I don't know if it has. So let's just make damn sure. So my original article comes out as 100% human, which is great. Now let's try the one written by ChatGPT. Comes out as 100% AI generated. Cool. And let's try the one that is written by AI but trained on my style. Comes out as very likely human, 67% confidence that it's human written. So if I was a client, I would then go, okay, this is most likely human written, even though it was written by AI using 2 prompts. That took me about 3 seconds to write. Which means GPTZero is also out of the game. Now we have a well-known household name, Grammarly. They also have an AI detector, and let's see how they do in our little test. First up, we have my original article. Okay, Grammarly says 0% of this text appears to be AI generated. Congratulations, Grammarly, on passing the first of 3 tests. Now let's see if it can identify that ChatGPT wrote this second article. Not good, Grammarly, not good. 41% of this text appears to be AI generated. Well, in fact, it's 100% of this text that's AI generated. So not very good. And the funny thing about this is that Grammarly recently started promoting this new tool called authorship, which helps you prove that your content is original and written by you. So you would think they would be at the forefront of this AI detection stuff. But okay, let's give it this final article, which is the one written by ChatGPT, but trained on my writing style. 7% of this text appears to be AI generated, which means it's 93% certain that a human wrote this, even though that's not the case. So in other words, Grammarly also don't know how to create an AI content detector. Here we have ZeroGPT, which is not GPTZero, but ZeroGPT, and they were also a hot name in this space last time I checked. Let's see if they've actually improved since then. Okay, so this is my original text. It says it's human written, 10% certainty that it was written by AI. I guess well done. Let's try with the second one, which is just pure ChatGPT. And it comes out saying 11% certainty it was AI, but mostly it thinks that this was written by a human. Very poor result. Now let's try the third one and let's see how it does here. Okay, so it just spits out the same probability for all of them. It still thinks that this one is mostly written by a human, so it's all in all a useless tool. Here we have CopyLeaks, and I think that these guys also have their own AI writing tool, but I'm not sure and I don't particularly care. But let's see if they actually know how to spot AI generated content. Verify that you're human. Is that going to impact the results? Okay, so no AI content found on my human written article. Well done, CopyLeaks. Let's see if CopyLeaks can actually detect the one written by ChatGPT. Yes, it can. 100% certainty that this was written by AI. Well done, CopyLeaks. Now for the final test. 40% of the text may be AI generated, which means it thinks that 60% of the text is most definitely not AI generated and written by a real human being, even though it's not the case. So CopyLeaks can get fucked too. Okay, now we're on to Scriber, I don't know. I've never heard about this before. I just found it this morning. Okay, partial analysis completed. Doesn't want to tell me the results unless I cut down the number of characters. Okay, detect again. 0% likelihood of AI. Good stuff, because it wasn't. Now let's see. This is 100% likelihood of it being AI generated, which is true because that was indeed the ChatGPT written article. And now for the final test comes out as 0% likelihood of it being AI, even though we both know it was written by AI. Poor Scriber or Scriber. Okay, now we have Quillbot. Let's see if Quillbot is up to the task. Quillbot also has other tools here, paraphraser, grammar checker, plagiarism checker, and so on, which will become relevant later in this video because I'm going to tell you why these AI tools exist in the first place. But first, I can see that this also wants to withhold my results because I've exceeded the limit. This is funny. I just noticed that it has the exact same layout as Scriber or Scriber, and it has the exact same cap on how much text you can scan before it asks you to upgrade to premium. So it's probably the same company that's playing on 2 horses at the same time. Anyway, okay, so this was my human written article, 0% likelihood that it was written by AI. So let's see if it can detect 100% ChatGPT. It can, so well done. I'm assuming we're going to get the same results as Scriber or Scriber because it seems to be the same company with the same engine. Yeah, exactly. So Quillbot also comes out as 0% likelihood of AI, even though this was an AI generated text, so that's also out the window. Now we have AIDetector.com. Let's see if it lives up to the name. You can only detect up to 1,000 words. Okay, I'm not going to sign up because I don't want to be part of your sales funnel. So let's just remove a few words so we're under the limit. This was written by a human, 0% likely AI generated. So far so good. Let's see with test number 2. This is purely ChatGPT's work and it says it was written by a human, so that's not a good sign. Now let's see ChatGPT plus me. It'll be funny if it actually comes out and says that's AI. No, 0% likely AI generated. So now this one says that all 3 articles are written by a human, guaranteed 100%. Now we have the final boss. This is called Winston AI. I haven't heard about it before, but I found out about it this morning as I was researching this video, and it turns out that it's one of the most accurate AI content detection tools. This one has also been featured in the New York Times, Wired Magazine, Business Insider, Forbes, Rolling Stone, BBC, The Guardian, and Yahoo News. So let's see if it lives up to the hype. Check AI score. Create a free account to scan custom texts. I wasn't gonna do this because I think that these should all be freely available considering how shit they are. But in the interest of finding out whether or not this is up to the task, I will create a free account using my burner email. Scan is completed. This was my original article and 99% human. Very good, Winston. Now let's see how you do against ChatGPT. Machine says no, 2% human. Okay, so it can actually tell a ChatGPT article from a human article, which is good. And now for the final boss, ChatGPT plus me. You don't have enough credits to perform this scan. Now I have to pay them as well. You know what? Fuck these guys. I'm not going to pay them at all. I'm going to log out and then I'm going to create a new account with a different email. So this is the final boss. ChatGPT trained on my writing style. And it comes out as 24% human. It's highly probable that an AI text generation tool was used. Color me impressed. I actually think Winston AI might be the best candidate for an AI content detection tool, but with an error margin of 24%, it's still not something that I would rely on. And as I'm about to explain in just a minute, it also doesn't matter if you can rely on AI content detection tools or not. But first, why do all these AI content detection tools exist if they don't work? And the simple answer is because people keep paying for them. There's a huge market of people who don't know any better, and I found this article by a guy who also wrote about the same topic, and he actually used SEMrush, I think, to look for how many people are trying to find AI detectors online, and it was 5 million people every month are looking for this shit. So what'll happen is they're looking for AI detection tools, and then they land on one of these businesses' websites, and then they use it, and then they sign up for a free account, and then they enter their sales funnel, and all of a sudden they're out of a bunch of cash, none the wiser, and they've actually ended up wasting their time and money and probably cut off a bunch of freelancers and still posted AI generated content, as you've just seen. So why is there such a huge market for it? And I think the simple answer is that people are lazy and stupid. They hear stuff like AI content is bad and take those claims at face value without investigating for themselves. For example, there's been a stupid myth floating about for the past few years about Google downranking or otherwise penalizing AI generated content, and that's why people are rushing to find AI content detectors and then get into fights with the writers about it. But let's unpack this myth, because if you just think about it for a few moments, then you realize it's incredibly ridiculous. First of all, Google has been on the forefront of AI since forever. So why would they be averse to AI content? Do you think Google's employees sit and manually read your blog posts before they decide how to rank it in searches? Or do you think there's even a remote chance of them using AI to do that job, bringing the total number of real humans reading your blog back down to zero? The second reason it's a ridiculous myth is that Google themselves have been launching one AI product after the other, from Bard to Notebook LM to Gemini. Shit, you can't even open a Google Doc without being asked to use AI to generate the content for you. They want you to use AI to generate content. The third reason it's a ridiculous myth is that instead of Googling around trying to find the best AI content detection tool, you could have just tried to find Google's policy on AI generated content to see if they're actually against it or not. So let me do that for you. Here you can find Google for developers, and here you can see Google's search guidance about AI generated content, and you'll have the answer you're seeking there. It's right here in the first section, rewarding high quality content however it's produced. Here they also say about 10 years ago there was an understandable concern about the rise in mass-produced yet human-generated content. That would have been your old content mills, right? People just using black hat SEO techniques to spit out garbage content stuffed full of keywords in the hope that they would rank higher in searches, and Google would then have to go back and downrank all that shit so people had a good user experience when they went on to Google to use it as a search engine. And that also tells you how they think about content in general, right? Imagine if you have a content mill who are paying their writers slave wages to churn out page after page of garbage SEO content, or you have someone who's shit hot at prompting AI, like me, who's churning out quality content. Which piece of content are you going to publish? The one that actually provides value to the reader, or the one that's crap but is human generated? No, obviously Google wants people to go on their search engine and find valuable stuff that gets them from A to B, so that they keep using Google as a search engine, so that Google keeps making money from advertising. That's Google's business model. That's what they're trying to do. So the bottom line is, it doesn't matter if it's human generated or AI generated or a mix of both, as long as it's good. And that's the most important point of this entire video. Both business owners and writers need to realize it doesn't matter how the sausage is made, as long as it tastes the way it should. The reason so many people keep saying that AI can't produce good content is because they don't know how to use it. In fact, the moment I hear someone say those words, I'm 100% sure they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That said, they're marginally smarter than the people who will use ChatGPT to churn out garbage content and start their articles with "in the ever-evolving digital landscape" and think, oh, that sounds smart, that sounds natural, that's how I talk to my friends and family and business partners. Because at least people who say that AI can only produce bad content are able to tell if it's bad content. Now, in closing, large language models, which are what we're talking about when we talk about AI writing tools, is basically just predictive text. And just like no one objected to having autocorrect on their phone to correct their shitty spelling, or using Grammarly for their Google Docs or email to correct their shitty spelling there, no one should complain about AI being employed to create written content. They just need to get better at using the tools at their disposal. Fortunately, I'm about to churn out a bunch of videos showing you how to do just that. But in the meantime, if you want to get a bit better at writing, I've actually put together a 30-day free email course that teaches you how to become the kind of writer that billion-dollar companies would hire. And that's not hyperbole, because I have been hired by billion-dollar brands like NordVPN and PandaDoc, and I had the opportunity to work with a $13 billion brand, but they had a strict no AI policy, so fuck them. Anyway, if you want to become a better writer, there's a link in the description. Sign up and see you next time.